Hi everyone, it's Halpern here. Today I'm going to explain a League of Legends strategy that will lead to an inescapable doom for your enemy team. And this happened twice actually in the past week. One happened in LEC in the G2 Fnatic game. This is the first game we're handling, and the second one happened in LCK T1 against Guangdong Freaks. This happened actually on Thursday. So in the previous week, twice this strategy happened with pretty different champions, although both included the enemy team having Sejuani, but I don't think it doesn't matter in this situation. So how this happens, and to start with this, let's start with G2. G2 starting with sending Broken Blade to the enemy jungle and seeing what happens. Actually, it starts in draft, but I'm trying to explain what's happening inside the game. So what happened is Fnatic picked Yuumi, G2 picked Draven. It's a winning matchup for Draven. It always happens like that. It's a hard counter lane. Then they got Nautilus against the Yuumi lane. So this is a very strong, hard pushing and hard punishing G2 bot lane. I mean, just starting with this, they're just trading. But it's not for... It has a reason. They're just trading because they want Fnatic to lose experience from the lane. Because they can prepare a dive. And this is actually going to happen in this game. So Razork is aware of this situation. So he's coming directly to bot lane to defend this dive. And also Yike, Viego cleared 3 camps and coming for a dive. But this is the first situation that it becomes an inescapable doom. Because whatever happens, Fnatic loses in this situation because of the Draven Nautilus against a Yuumi matchup. Now just look at this situation. Draven pushing the lane. There's a lot of minions in this position that Fnatic didn't even hit. I mean, Rekkles has 1 CS. They're missing experience. Mikyx is roaming because he wants to find where Razork is. Because if they can find him, if Yike and Mikyx find Razork, Razork is out of position. I mean, maybe they'll kill him. Maybe he'll just escape. Doesn't matter. Fnatic will lose because they lost their jungle control. Look at the second position. What can happen, which actually happens in this game. Razork is alpha HP. He just survives this position, but now there's a threat of G2. They can dive this position because they have more damage, more levels, and better early game champions for this situation. Because even just Nautilus is better than Zeri or Yuumi. And what G2 does is Mikyx standing in this position, blocking Razork. Razork has to stay here. Razork has no other option. He can't go to his jungle because Viego is there, and Viego is stronger than Sejuani in 1v1, but it's not even a 1v1 because Mikyx is there. He can't leave this position, then Hansama and Mikyx can dive and harass Rekkles and Rux in this position. I mean, either Razork loses or Rekkles loses. Either way, Fnatic loses in this situation, and it always happens like this. Just look at this. Yike is now clearing Razork's camps, free win for him, and that's it. Look at this position. Rekkles lost CS. They probably lost experience too from the first wave because, I mean, Mikyx is not getting any experience, but doesn't matter. Hansama is getting it, and they couldn't even get in the range of the first 2 waves, I believe. Maybe it's 3, because this is the cannon wave, this is the 3rd wave. And Razork lost his all jungle control. And he doesn't have any camps. And Razork doesn't even have access to Scuttle Crabs. Viego controls all the bot side of the map. And this is a lose-lose situation for Fnatic. And G2 absolutely crushed the game with this. I mean, they just picked Draven and used his early game strength for this. That's it. There's nothing Fnatic can do in this situation. Nothing. And if you guys want to watch this game or miss this game, you could just watch this game. I'll put the link in the description. You can find it and watch the rest of the game. It was just hell for Fnatic. Both games, both the first game and the second game, just ended in domination. Doesn't matter. Same thing happens in this game, but T1 Kwangdong Freaks, different lane. This time, we don't have a Yuumi, we don't have a Zeri, which both are, I mean, weaker than other champions in the early game, but we have Ashe and Caitlyn on T1's side. Both of those champions are extremely strong in early game and in laning phase, and they have the opportunity to push the lane whenever they want, and they're using it. This time, they also have Elise in their jungle, which is probably the greatest diver in the whole game. And T1 also added another thing for their system, for their dive potential. They have Sett in mid lane. I mean, they're kind of out of the meta in this aspect, because no one ever plays Sett mid. No one ever actually tries AD mids. I mean, Sett is a tank. And Faker played tank in this game. It's not even AD, it's just tank. But it doesn't matter. The way T1 uses their advantage is kind of similar to G2. They are laning advantage. Look at what Keria is doing. He's just directly trading. Same pattern. Remember this game? Let's go to the situation. Same pattern. Watch this. Draven and Nautilus just running on top of their enemies, running them down, and just trading for HP, for lane control. Same situation. They're just going on top of them. Doesn't matter if they lose HP. They know they're stronger than them, and they can get the push. Same situation in here. T1 doing the same thing to Kwangdong Freaks. And they got lane control. And they're trying to push them away from experience range. They couldn't manage it though, but they have the option to do that. So, the second option, this is kind of similar with Razork's situation in the first game, the Sejuani's situation. He sees the enemy jungler in his jungle. And what happens? In T1, Kwangdong Freaks, they don't fight each other. They just run away from each other. So what can happen in this situation? There are three other options, I think, that can happen in this game. Sejuani attacks Elise, kills Elise, and goes to base. They both attack each other, and they both run away from each other with low HP. And they both have to go to base, or to their other side of the camps. Or Elise wins the fight. So in three of these situations, actually Kwangdong Freaks loses. So, if Sejuani attacks and wins against Elise, I mean, normally Elise is stronger than Sejuani, but Sejuani is a red buff right now. So, we can just call it a 50-50 for the situation. Doesn't matter. If Sejuani wins, this is the best outcome for Kwangdong Freaks. Still, Sejuani doesn't have any camps to clear, and after reviving, Elise can clear his own camps and still be ahead. And look at the CS situation in bot lane. Similar to G2 game. 12-1. Sejuani is in base, bot lane, Gumayusi and Keria, Ashe and Caitlyn lane, constantly pushing and denying Kwangdong Freaks bot lane from CS. Same situation in this position, from the first game, from the previous game. What happens if both of them go to base with low HP? Still, Kwangdong Freaks bot lane loses experience in CS. What happens if Elise wins? Now, bot lane is losing, jungle is losing, mid lane is already having priority issues with in this Viktor set matchups, and Fiora is losing his matchup against Kennen. You're losing every single lane, every single role in the game. This is a lose-lose situation. So, Youngjae goes with a different approach. He just leaves this position. They don't fight each other. And same thing happens with Razork to Youngjae. The wave is coming, the wave is built up. Now they're coming for a dive, because Elise is the best diver. But they're also bringing Faker in this position, because Sett has great early game dive potential with his W and his shield. And Elise has the opportunity to change the tower aggro. So this is a lose-lose situation again. If they die, they can kill. If they don't die, but just stay there, Taeyun and Mohan will lose experience in CS. Same situation. Now they're coming, and T1 is actually executing this position perfectly. This is a perfect dive. I mean, Kwangdong, look at this position. Nami is still level 1. Taeyun, Lucian just got level 2. Sejuani is half HP, and T1 is coming for a dive. They just control tower aggro perfectly, Faker attacks properly, then they got the kill. I mean, Kwangdong Freaks get a revenge kill from Elise, but look at this. They got a plate, they got one more kill, they got 15 CS lead. I mean, this is over, this game is over. This is the same problem that Fnatic run into. It's a lose-lose situation. It's, as I said in the beginning, this is an inescapable doom. You have nothing to do against it. I mean, you were doing anything in your power, but with those champions, you couldn't get lane priority from Sett in the mid lane. So Sett came here. But even if Sett didn't come, this is a lose situation for Kwangdong Freaks. And I think the more the teams will see this, the more they'll try. And this is a great strategy, both executed. I mean, of course, there's always room for improvement, but both G2 and T1 just executed, I think, perfectly. T1 got the kills, G2 didn't get kills, but doesn't matter, they got the lead they want. Both games ended in domination, and I want to see more teams trying strategies like that and not going for easy lane matchups. I don't want to see teams like, I mean, let's just get Zeri and Yuumi and wait for scale and we can just win in team fights. No. You can just win the game in 3 minutes. T1 did it, G2 did it. Once again, if you want to watch the game, I'm just putting the link down below. And thank you for watching. I hope more teams and more players will try strategies like that. Thank you and see you around.